recording has started.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dan.
So let's rewind back to the beginning of the conversation. We had a little bit about some RF stuff, and we're going to cover RF later. But for right now, we wanted to be sure everybody has got it installed, has accounts created, and knows how to use it with Telnet. And then we'll get to the RF part of it. And videos seem to go through that probably pretty fast. If you don't have the links to the videos, I'll send it out so you can watch it. Let's open up then to questions. And Dave, I know you had some.
Yeah.
Who's got questions about what we just saw? Or if you've seen it before now, if you watch the videos. Take it away, Dave.
Yeah, my question is, these various I guess stations where the information travels, the RMS station, the CMS server, and so forth, how are those configured? How is that? What is the connectivity of those? I kind of want to understand how that works.
Lee, can you answer that?
Oh, that's that's getting a little high level, Dave. I mean, what you're doing is the basic thing, what Ron was trying to say earlier, and of course what Dan has said also, is if you're connecting to a CMS to an RMS gateway, like for instance, if you're going from your station to WX4PCA10,
yeah,
using whatever you're using on RF, then it would go from that gateway and then to the CMS, and then it would eventually wrap around to wherever it needed to be, or go, I should say.
Okay, well, I understand that, but what are those configured computers or radios that are interfaced with computers? I mean,
it's computers, right?
What you're asking is how does the network topology work for this whole system?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a Steve Waterman question, and probably 8 to 10 hours of a lecture.
Oh, boy.
The way they've got it set up.
So it's RMS gateways like WX4PCA-10 that run the RMS software, and those are spread out all over the world. Those are computers spread out all over the world. Most, if not all, have radios connected. Above that, at a layer above that, there are a handful of CMS stations around the world, and those are again computers. All of those RMS nodes report up to those, and so I want to describe it like DNS works on an internet-based network. It's you've got a high-level, small group of servers that share messages between themselves, and then an RMS node like WX4PCA-10 that receives the message that you send by RF and reports it up to those.
So how do you become one of those? I'm saying that tongue in cheek, but I'm just curious.
I believe, I mean, the top level, I don't know. Lee may know. I mean, you may be able to say that, but it's out of scope for what we're talking about tonight.
Sure.
If you wanted to install one, you could build your own node like WX4PCA-10. But let's keep moving.
Yeah, that's fine.
I'll come back to you for a minute. Ruth is waving her hand.
I just want to summarize when you ask how do they know, if you recall during one of those videos, they were explaining how that I guess the servers talk to each other. There's a setting that says, I know about this server, and this server, everybody in my net. And then that one knows about WA4MDQ, W4AEX, and they say, you've got all my mail over here. So we're going to shove it all to you because we know you handle those call signs. So it's all in the configuration. You're in a mesh net.
Kind of a
everybody
hierarchy
knows about everybody. Yeah. And then you're assigned to a server that knows who you are.
Yeah. So with Telnet, correct me if I'm wrong, Ron or Lee or anybody else, I think if you're using Telnet, which is what we're starting with here, you're connecting directly to the CMS, right?
That's correct.
You're telling the WinLink software you want to use Telnet, and it's picking one of the CMS servers and connect directly to it.
You are right.
Other questions, other comments about the videos? Ruth?
I would like to say when we talk about this now to each other, answering questions, asking questions, that we define whether it's the peer-to-peer or if it's the telnet, because they're actually doing different things when you're explaining. We want to be on the same page.
I don't want to hold us back, but the conversation tonight was going to be about Telnet. And
Oh,
we're
that's
gonna,
fine.
let's be sure everybody can do it and everybody's sending messages, but we got a good group of people here. I don't want to hold us back. Can everybody send messages with Telnet from WinLink Express?
Let's send them all to Ron right now. No?
Has everybody sent them? Stan?
Anybody has a
just
problem
turned
with
your
that, give
camera.
me a call or send me
Okay.
an email. My
Okay,
email is wb3island@gmail. Just send me an email with your phone number. I'll call you and I'll get you going.
okay. Then where do we go next? It sounds like we're a bunch of WinLink users who know how to do Telnet and want to talk about something beyond that.
Does everybody know how to make a contact list?
Do that, Ron. Talk about, share your screen and talk about how to do a contact list.
Oh, let me get her down here. Let me shrink up my screen so I go back to,
Yeah, screen sharing is a great teaching tool.
Mhm.
okay, let me shrink you guys down.
Ed, have you sent messages with WinLink? Ed Rutledge?
Hey there, sorry, I had to come off
you
mute.
have-
I've sent messages to myself and my good friend Ron might be receiving one here in a moment if I'm doing
Okay.
this right.
Now I'm gonna try and get it up. It's
Okay.
eluding me at the moment.
So we got a bunch of people who could teach WinLink. And I'm trying to hold the conversation to how to use it as a basic user. So,
All right, let me see here. Let me go into my view here. Share screen. Let's see if this is gonna work. Oh, that's not gonna work. Out here. Nope, that's not gonna work either. There we
There-
go. Can everybody see that?
Not yet. There we
there it
go.
is. There it is.
Okay.
Good job.
All right, to make a contact list, all you have to do is come over right over here, click on contact. This window opens up.
You
Click
right
on-
click, you right click.
No, you left click.
Okay.
All right, and then you go click on add. And if you're just going to send something to a call sign that you know as an example, Dave, if I was going to send you one and I wanted you to get it just strictly through the WinLink system, I would type your call sign in here. And then I would come down here and I'd type your call sign in again. And then I would just simply save that. And then I would close this window out.
Post it.
And I'm not sending you any messages yet. I just made a contact list.
Oh,
There's
that's
a
right. That's
Contact
right.
list here, okay?
Got you.
I'd come down here and I'd find your call sign, which is right here. And I double click on it and it brings up the standard form. Now you can see I've got the ICS 213 form that I've also selected. I can just click on that and I can send you a 213 form, or I can send you the Express Aries check-in form, because those are the two that I've set up and selected, okay? But that's how you make a contact list. Now I'm going to shut that down. We'll do it again one more time real quickly here. Let me see if I can close that down. Close on it. Yes, okay. So you just click on contact. The window opens up. You click on the word add. Now, if you want to send someone to a regular web internet email, as an example, say like rwest104@bellsouth.net, the format that I use, and this you can do it any way you want to do it, But you can see up here for Dave Fuller, for the name, I typed in K4DMF, which is his call sign, K4DMF. I put a space bar in there slash another space bar, and then I put his call sign in there again. But then I come down here and I put in his actual email address. If I can remember it.
Why do you put that syntax in his name?
Up on the where the name line,
Yes.
it's because I like to.
Oh, so it's just personal preference.
Yeah, it's
There's-
just personal preference. I said that's the format that I use.
I
can do
got
it- You can do whatever you want to do. Okay. As an example, I would actually do it this way. Okay, Dave Fuller. Well, whatever.
Yeah, you
Whatever,
can't
yeah.
spell.
Yeah. Well, I'm almost in the dark here. It doesn't look like that way to you, but I really am. Okay.
Try
And I-
DAVE.
yeah. Well, yeah, just
DESF
that.
accomplice.
Yeah, I'm going to delete this anyway.
All right.
All right.
So Ron,
Yeah.
when you put in the name, when you put the person's call sign, then it looks for that individual's registration for WinLink.
Only
be-
when you're doing it the other way with just the call sign only.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
So it knows it has like a lookup that says, oh yeah, this guy's registered for WinLink, therefore I can send him this mail.
Yeah, when I first said this, I told you that when you do WinLink only, it goes into a document they call white paper.
Ah, okay.
That is your registration when you sign up to WinLink.
Gotcha.
And then so the way I got it set up here, I can put in name. I can put in anything I want to put in here, as long as I remember it's going to go to Dave Fuller. Okay. And then I would save that. But I know that when I use that format, like I have done over here, that it's going to fill him in. Now I'm going to close this out. Now, if I come down here and choose Dave Fuller, it's going to put his email address in there where it says 2.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Okay? And that's going to go to his cell phone or PC or whatever, but he's going to get it over the conventional web internet, not WinLink. If you only use the person's call sign in that name field, as over in here, now I've only used his call sign there when I made the contact list up. The only way that he's going to get that email is when he logs on to WinLink. It will not.
Okay.
It will not go
Yeah.
to a cell phone. It will. So if he doesn't log on to WinLink except on Thursday night, he won't
It'll
get it
sit
for a week.
there. It'll sit there. Yeah.
It'll sit there for a week. Okay. So anybody have any questions on that? That's pretty simple, pretty straightforward, and it works really well. But that's the format so I know that when I see K4DMF with a Dave Fuller in it, I know that's going to go to his Comcast email address. Okay. And the nicest part about WinLink is you can send a WinLink message to, as an example, WB3ILX@winlink.org from your cell phone. Now, the negative aspect of that is when you use @winlink.org, I'm only going to get that email when I log on to WinLink.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all I wanted to say. But like I said, we're doing Telnet tonight. Next week or next session, we're going to do setting
RF.
up your VHF radio doing RF.
Yeah, that's good.
Unless somebody wants to talk about that tonight.
What else do we need to cover?
Let me not share my screen here. Let me cut that out.
One of the things I've seen discussed, and I'm not smart enough to talk about it tonight, is tactical call signs.
How do I stop sharing the screen, Dan?
Go down to the bottom, or no, go to the very top,
Very top. When you hover at the top, you should see.
a little drop down.
Yeah.
I
It
see. It
says
says
stop
new
sharing.
screen. Oh,
Yeah,
stop.
at the very
there
top,
it
it
is.
should say stop
There we
sharing.
go. I got it. There we go. Thank you.
So what questions? Where can we go next? How do we make this better for next time? I think next time we need to figure out how to do this with some radios and get RF involved.
Yeah, you wanna do
Joe,
VHF first?
Joe had his hand raised.
Just moving my earpiece around.
Okay, okay.
I'd like to do VHF first because that's the easiest one to do. Because there's no rig control involved, none of that stuff.
Question, Ron, for VHF, of course, I've got my V71. You need another signal link and a connection, right?
That's true.
It still has to go through a modem.
Well, if you got your signal link attached to your V71A, you just plug it in your laptop.
Well, no, I only have my signal link hooked to my Yaesu for HF.
Right. So you're stuck.
So I'm stuck. That's what yeah. So I
And-
need to get another signal link that's configured for my VHF radio.
You need to go
That's
back
correct.
to Catalina
Buy
Island,
another
Dave.
one. Let's just go buy another one.
Yeah, a real quick.
Go back to
note,
Catalina,
the way
go
they're
pound
selling-
sand.
The way they're selling signal links now, from what I understand from HRO, because they bring up their page, there's like 50 or 60 of them that come up on your screen. What they're doing is now they're selling the signal link with the chip already installed. So when you get it, it comes with a cable and a chip for your radio. Okay. So all you have to do is have a supplied USB cable to plug it from the signal link to your computer, and you're all ready to go. That's all you have to do to it.
Interesting. Okay.
But it runs $134.95 now instead of 110.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do have a question.
Go ahead.
What's the difference between using like a TNC versus like Vara FM? I mean, it looks like Vara FM is a TNC application you run on your computer. Is that true or not true? I just started looking at it today.
Yeah, Lee, go ahead.
Okay, there's a big problem with that. A lot of people have been getting confused by talking TNC is a terminal node controller, which is used for packet.
Right.
Or if you're going to spend a lot of money, the PACTOR modems, same thing. With using Vara FM, you don't use a terminal node controller. You don't use an MFJ, a Cantronics, CamX. You don't use any of those. None of those are used for that. You use a sound card interface, and Vara FM is actually your modem. And what you do is, just like Vara HF, you're using your signal link, or if your radio has a built-in sound card, like a 7100, IC 7100, or the others that are out there that have that, you just use that cable that goes from your PC USB to the input on your connection on your radio, and that's all you do. And then it handles it accordingly through the Vara FM. Now, there's another problem with that as well that people have gotten confused on. They talk about digipeating. Well, the gentleman who wrote the program, who did a great job on writing it, put in digipeat. Well, that's wrong. That's the wrong word to use, because digipeating is used in the packet world. What you're actually doing is you're relaying your signal from one station to another. It should have been, used that way. And there's been a lot of people that have got confused over that and frustrated and everything else trying to do certain things. So if you're going to use Vara FM, which is more robust, is faster, and has the ability to move traffic at a higher rate of speed on VHF or UHF, either one, then you just need some kind of interface like a signal link or something like that, or right out of your radio. Now you got to remember too that if you're going to go to HF, now they talked about this video earlier, we were looking at the older video that was talking about Winmore. They've totally taken Winmore out of RMS Express. It's not there anymore. So all you have now is you have Packet, PACTOR, and your Vara FM and your Vara HF to use. And that's fine. And Telnet if you're going strictly over the internet, like we've talked about this evening.
Mm-hmm.
So don't get confused on that. You don't need a TNC to use Vara FM. That's a total different animal. Don't worry about it. Now, if you want to use Packet, you can still use Packet without a TNC also. If you're using UZ7HO modem program or Direwolf, you can do the same thing through your signal link or however you're doing it. You can still use packet, so you don't need to go buy a TNC. Did it help at all, Joe?
Yeah, what I've got is I've got this little thing called mobile linked
Yes.
TNC. It's a Bluetooth. So it
Right.
connects to my computer over Bluetooth,
Right.
plugs into the back of my Yaesu, and it'll handle the traffic, and I don't have to have my computer wired to my radio.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm not having much luck getting a good connectivity to the RMS servers out there, or they're not recognizing it or something.
Maybe it's bandwidth.
Joe?
Bandwidth of the,
So what I'm thinking is if I try the Vera FM, I use the Vera software, my computer, and then it means having a USB cable connected from my computer to the back of my radio and just have it configured in the radio software to handle it right out of the USB.
Exactly. That's correct.
yeah.
That's
So I'm gonna
correct.
try it. I'll try that tomorrow and see if I get good connectivity that way over the air. Then there's something else going on with the mobile linked situation.
With the mobile link, the Troy has got one. He has a mobile link also. And if you have any questions on how he uses it, you could talk to him. And of course, he's using it for packet. So that's something you could talk to him about. You know, Troy?
Yeah, and
Okay.
the goofy part of it, Lee, was I got connectivity and I sent myself an email like 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now all of a sudden it's not working again, and I don't know. You know, I didn't
What
change any
station
settings.
were you going through?
That KJJ something. It's 145.710.
Okay.
And it's like 6 miles as the crow flies from.
Okay.
my
Now keep
QTH.
in mind on any of this Vera software, whether it's HF or VHF for Vera, just remember that he comes out, the gentleman who writes this overseas, he comes out with a new version. And sometimes if you upgrade and the RMS on the other end that you're connecting to, not the CMS. The CMS is like what Walk was talking about, the high level. You're
right.
talking about going through a CMS gateway.
Right.
If they've upgraded their software and you haven't, sometimes things won't talk. So you've got to make sure that you're at the latest, and that's what they say, always be at the latest. And that's what Ron has pushed with FL Digi over the years, is always be at the latest level so that everybody's where they need to be, and you're not 4, 5, 6 revisions back. You got to stay up on this software because things change, things get broken, things get fixed within the code, and it has to be, you have to be there.
Yeah, I upgraded Winlink, so I'm up to the latest version, and I did just download new firmware for the mobile link, but it wasn't really a lot of changes to the mobile link.
Right. I'm talking about on Vera, Winlink being the Winlink package, which updates automatically for you when you're running RMS Express. It'll update automatically.
Yeah.
But on Vera, it'll tell you that there's a new version. It'll pop up on your screen, and then you have to tell it, okay, I'm going to go and
gotta go upgrade it. Yeah, I did just download the latest version of Vera, I think, because I didn't download it until after a conversation I had with Ron a couple of weeks ago.
Right.
have
you tried it since you upgraded it?
No, not Vera. Like I said, I just started playing with it today. I just
Okay.
brought up the menu and I said, oh, I can connect that way. So I'll play with that tomorrow and the next day.
There was another question.
Yeah, I was just curious. I seem to fall behind in upgrading different software packages and so forth. Either I don't get an alert or I'm missing something. Is there something that you guys do that assures that you've got the latest and greatest? Is there some methodology?
I watch for emails from Ron
Or Lee. Yeah.
or Lee.
Oh,
Well, Winlink tells you that
Yeah.
there's a new version out.
Oh, yeah, that's
And
right.
Same
That's
thing
correct.
with the forms. You don't have to install the forms, but you will get a message every now and then that says forms have been updated, and click the link to update.
Yeah,
that.
I've seen that on WindLink, but there's other things.
Fair. Yeah.
If you click on help, and it'll usually under the helpline, it'll say check for updates.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I just don't think of that, but you're right. That's
And a lot of times, if you don't have a registered version of Vera, it's going to nag screen you to death. Of course, you know that. You see it pop up if you don't have a, that's fine. But you have to remember, it's not going to nag you to update. It might tell you once, but you've got to go out there and make sure, like Ron said, you've got to click on it to say, hey, is there a new one? Yes, there is. Download it and install it. And then you're always up to speed, you know, with everything that's going on. And a lot of the guys who are running the CMS gateways, the RMS gateways, like you would connect to on RF, are trying to stay up on it. And most of them are. Now, if you go to winlink.org, and look at the map and then look across the top, it'll tell you what different things, packet, Pactor, whatever. You click on it and it'll come up and it'll tell you the CMSs that are out there, excuse me, the RMSs that are out there that you're connecting to. And if it doesn't have the latest and greatest, it'll put it over in the other column in red. It's not updated.
Very good.
So
Interesting.
you've got to make, you know, and usually in our neck of the woods, and most of the people who are operating this now that Vera's come into play more so, and
They're up to date.
You don't have to go out and spend $1,000 for a Pactor modem. You know, that everybody's staying up on everything pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did that answer your question?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No,
Okay.
that's fine. I appreciate it. Basically, it's just develop better work habits. That's
Well,
what it really
yeah,
amounts
but
to.
you know, there's so much out there, just like FLDigi, for instance, to use that, not to get off on FLDigi.
No,
but,
that's another issue.
well, yeah, and he's always updating, and then he'll put out, like this last week, he's put out 5 new alpha versions. It hasn't even moved into beta yet because things got broken and because he was updating this, and this, and some things, and people who are on the team like myself who look at that stuff and get those messages from him and the new alphas and everything, you see, and oh, this is broke, that's broke. He has to go back and fix it before he moves it to beta. Then he moves it to a full production.
Wow. Good information. Thanks.
Mhm.
What else?
Had some, y'all mentioned a couple of times RMS Express. Where is that in the program, or is that another whole software, or is that in the first 2 videos that I missed?
RMS Express is WinLink Express. It's just renamed.
Okay, because yeah, my version's got WinLink Express
Yeah, that's it.
1.5.390.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, I had the same question.
Yeah, they
same
renamed
thing.
it about 8 months ago. They renamed it from RMS Express to WinLink Express.
Okay, I'm up to date.
Good to know. Well, just a comment. I think these sessions are great. It gives an opportunity for those in the know to share with those that are not in the know, to put it in a global sense. And that's always good. I learned some things. So I appreciate
I did too.
the guys that have put this together. And I'd like to see it more often. I think it's great.
One thing
So-
I want to say too is that what we've done tonight with this Telnet part of it is kind of like going out in 12 feet of snow and then just scraping off an inch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
There's so much
Yeah.
to this program that is available. I'm not talking about the modem sides of it where you're using the different modes, the modems to get to different things, you know, the transport. The main program itself will do so much that you can pull in to your system. If you want to look at this and look at that, or go out and query things, you can even query a web page and they'll bring the web page into you if you want to. But that's way down the road and something you probably would never use. But you know, there's so much to it that it just makes it can be overwhelming. That's why you kind of, like David said earlier,
Baby
Dave Flores
steps.
said earlier, you crawl, you walk, you run.
Baby
So-
steps. Yeah.
So let's thinking along those lines, what do we do next? And we got a good group of folks here. They're folks from Paulding Aries, and they're folks from Ball Ground in South Georgia. There are a lot of people here representing a lot of groups around the state.
I
Do
have
you
a
want to
su-
keep doing this, and what do you want to do next? I'm afraid like my thought was, Lee, I like what you said about scratching the top of the snow off, but I think what we've done tonight is the easy part.
I have a suggestion, Dan.
Go ahead. Dave.
One of the things that I would like to see is one of you send a message to everyone so that we can actually see the message being created. And I think we've done that to an extent, but
Mhm.
actually physically be able to receive the message on our own computer. And so that you get a cause and effect
Right.
I think that would be useful.
You want to do that tonight? I would change it a little bit and say, instead of one of us sending it to everybody go send a message to somebody on the screen, on the call. If you want to do that, I've got it open.
Yeah, I've
If you
got mine
haven't-
open.
Yeah, if you haven't sent one, well, guess what? Mine is not working. What have I done?
Ron, I sent you some. Did you get it yet?
Yeah, I sent you a text back on Zoom telling you that I received it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And Ron, I
sent you something also.
Ron, I sent you about half a dozen, and then Dan, I think I sent you
Got
one.
one? Yep.
Let me bring up my Townhead session here. That way I don't have to turn the radio on.
You want to share your screen?
Well,
Although-
hang on a minute.
Maybe something's in
You're
here.
gonna
talking
mess
about-
me up again here, aren't you? All right, here goes the share screen thing. Okay, here we go. Let's see if that'll work. I can bring this up. Share that. All right, now, whoops, hang on a minute. Now I gotta move this around so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, I'm choosing Telnet, so I don't have to turn my radio on. All right, now I'm gonna log on to Telnet and we'll see what happens. I'm connected there. Oh, look at all that stuff. I got at least 4 of them there. Okay. Let me close that screen down. All right, there. Now you can see that I got one from JFL, BWN, MDQ, and BWN again.
MDQ, Ruth's in a form.
Yes, Ruth said a form will open up hers. Okay, here we go.
I sent a message to you, Dave.
There
Fuller.
you go. That's Ruth's form. Okay.
Click on the, Ron, click on the paperclip on the left.
Paperclip on the left. Hang on a minute. Everything is on me. Whoops. Well, paperclip what on the black bar here for Zoom?
On the message from Ruth to the left side
oh,
of the
the
message
paperclip.
from Ruth.
Over here. Oh, you can't see it. Yeah.
No, I can't. I don't see the paperclip.
You see her call sign. You see the size is 1022. You
Hang
see
on
the
a minute.
message ID, you see the date and time, you see the envelope, then you see the paperclip in blue.
The very
If you-
left-hand part of the message.
If he's only sharing the window, you won't see his
No, I don't see it.
browser open.
It's not there.
But I bet that's what it is. I bet he's sharing a window.
See if I can close this down. Okay. Now there's the paperclip there.
There you go,
That's it.
click
Yeah,
it,
that's
click
it.
it.
Yeah, but see, I didn't. Yeah. Why would I? Well, okay. All right. I'll click on that for you. Oh, you're seeing the same thing I just had up there, supposedly.
We're not, Ron, we're not seeing
No,
what
we're
you're
not
seeing. I think.
That's
you're not
because-
Eric's right.
You're not seeing the form.
No,
Right.
because
No.
you haven't got it set up to pop up on the screen.
No,
Right.
well,
You-
right. He's
you're not
sharing. the
Sharing,
application
yeah, it's a
window.
sharing problem.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, it's a sharing problem.
Change your shared view to the internet browser
Or
versus.
you can
the-
just drag that
Winlink.
window over in front of the message window.
I think he's sharing the application. It's
Yeah.
All right. Hang on.
gonna,
Yeah, it's blocking them.
Can you see that?
No,
Oh,
Nope.
it won't stay small. That's the problem.
let me share mine. Can I do that?
Yeah, go ahead. Let me shut
I've
mine
got
down.
one. I can
yeah,
share.
shut it down.
Yeah,
This sharing thing is important to learn because,
we need to do a Zoom class.
We're going to do a Zoom
yes,
session.
exactly. No, that's true. Okay, so
here's-
you're sharing your screen.
here's
See, that sees
mine.
everything.
Yeah, and there's the, I don't know who sent this. Who sent that one to you?
That's a query from somebody.
Okay, one that I sent. Okay, click there. And so I'm not able to do what I was trying to do. Never mind. There's a check-in form from the ARESnet. And it
There you
opens up
go.
like that.
Oh,
So I think is that what we were trying to show there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Out of the
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, Joe, if, I used to have a TNC as well, and I got rid of it because there's a lot more functionality out there with the signal link or something like that. 'Cause I don't do really any packet at all, but I can do it with a signal link.
Yeah, I like the idea of this one just because it was Bluetooth from the PC, so I didn't
Yeah,
have to
they're
have
good.
a cable running across the room.
Comment
Ruth?
here.
Ruth?
Lee, on our weekly check-ins, you suggest people to send the ICS 213 form to, what's the address?
WX4PCA@winlink.org.
So we would want to put that in our contact list.
Yes.
Ruth, all you have to do is type in, remember the form I told you, if you're going to send it to a call sign, all you need is a call sign in the name field and a call sign in the email field.
Yeah, it takes care of it.
Okay, so you just put in the call sign part. Okay,
Just put in WX4PCA.
got it.
If you
Ron,
ever,
I
Tommy?
got a little question, maybe it's geared more to the next session, but on an Aries net, when we send the ICS 213 forms, can we use any one of these modes in here? Vara FM or Vara HF or anything for that form on Thursday nights?
if you know how to do it,
Yeah,
If you're s-
don't know how
if
to
you-
do them all, but that's what I was wondering.
Well, we normally, yeah, may I answer that? Normally, for me anyway, I send either through HF, Vera HF, or Telnet, if I'm not able to connect with one of the nodes.
Yeah.
So, because I'm not familiar with doing FM, I don't have a signal link with my 2-meter radio. So for me, it's just HF or Telnet.
now, VHF is very simple. It's probably the next easiest mode to use.
So what do we do next then? I mean, look, I want to talk,
I'd like to do
well,
the-
are there any more questions? Are there any more questions about this for tonight? And then I'd like to spend a little time planning for the next session of what we're going to do.
I'd like to do VHF for everybody, but I know Dave doesn't have a VHF setup.
Well, why don't we do HF?
Now, HF gets more involved because people have got rig control and all that kind of stuff to deal with.
Oh, yeah.
I would think maybe then let's just go with the next step, which is VHF. I mean, not everyone's going to have it, but I think it's the next small step into, like what Leo said, which is peeling back that snow.
I think, yeah, that's good. And I think too, that if you do the VHF side of it and we kind of tailor it and leave it toward Vera FM and not so much packet, but just Vera FM, then we can show how that works and also how to relay. I don't like using Digipede because it's not digipeating. Relay digitally from one station to another to get where you want to go. So it gives you those extra couple of hops if you have to go a longer distance on VHF. Now, if you're talking to a Vera FM RMS on a mountaintop, it's kind of like, that gives you that extended range, just like a repeater that would be on a mountaintop type thing. But if you're trying to get from, say, your house, Dave, to, say, someone in Macon, you can do that if you can get a third of the way and then relay to another one, another third of the way, then you can get to where you're going. So it can extend your distance if things are not on a mountaintop. If things are on a mountaintop, you can go from your house to a mountaintop RMS Vera FM and then hop again to somewhere else. So now you're in Chattanooga. So, it just depends on, you've got to know where things are. That's why it's so nice where they have the thing that they're doing. Help me out here, Ruth, on the gentleman who's doing that mapping, who's got all the stuff out there on the mapping on what's out there. You can go there and see what's happening.
Yeah, GeorgiaAreas.org. Yeah.
Yeah. Ruth, what's the name of it?
Yeah,
Who's the guy?
You're muted.
You're muted, Ruth.
You're muted.
I still don't know his name.
Okay, gotcha.
Read
Okay,
my
okay.
lips.
Anyway.
Did you hold up a
Name is
sign?
Brian.
Yeah,
don't
but he's
know.
got the maps up and all that you can look at, Dave, for that.
Yeah,
I'll
we have
send you the link.
links. There's a link on the Paulding Area site. That's
Yeah.
what I was looking for.
Okay.
The situation awareness one? is
Yeah,
that-
that's the one. That's it. Yeah. And then you can see what's out there and what's available and what you can get to. You can also do the same thing on winlink.org. If you want to go there, you can look at it and see what's on the map as well.
So like HF, you select different different
Now, remember
stations?
on HF, there is no relaying like you do on Vera FM. There is no way to hop from one to the other. You're going from point A to point B to a CMS, to an RMS gateway that'll get you out to the CMS, which it gets it out to the big part of the world.
So how does it know? So you still select different stations on,
Yes.
on, right?
Yes.
So how do you know if it's going to make connection? Well, I guess you know, because you'll see it happen.
Right. And if
Yeah.
you're going, and if you're using Vera FM and you go to there and then update your stations that are available to you
Gotcha.
within so many 100 miles or whatever, it'll
Gotcha.
bring it up. You select the one you want, just like on HF, where it brings them all up on all the different frequencies. And then it gives you the propagation path, which yellow, which red, which green. And you know, it's 95% you're going to get there, or 72% you're going to get there.
So it's the same
Because it looks at-
concept. It's
Right,
the
it
same
looks at the
concept. Okay.
Right. It looks at the propagation forecasting that, you know, our propagation forecasting guru, Mr. Larry, can talk to in great length about. So, you know, that's where that comes into play. So that's why it's a good thing, like what Ron had said earlier about updating your software, no matter what it is. It's just like when you go online, every time you go online, if you're going to use HF and even VHF as well, always update so you see what propagation, your path quality, and the stations and the frequency, so you can click on and go. And then if you're using rig control on HF, it's going to do, and if you've got an automatic tuner, it'll tune everything, so you just click and go.
If I'm not mistaken, that program is called It's HF. And I would highly recommend that you update through the internet, not through the radio, because that
Right.
would take a long
Right.
time.
You're right.
I would
Yeah.
suspect so.
Right.
Yeah,
Ron, it looks like I'm going to get another signal link.
Yeah, well, it updates you. What these guys are saying is to update your channel list.
Yeah,
Every time
yeah.
you log on.
Yes.
And there's
Yeah.
a separate channel list for VHF and a separate one for HF. If you do VHF right now, you upgrade that, you'll see the WX4 PCA does not show up
Ah,
because he's not in the system right now. He's had it down for a couple of months.
I've got I've now a server cabinet over here. I've built putting the server together, and it's not, I'm almost done with it, but I don't know if you can see it, but there it is. But it's not all together yet, but it's almost all together. So there it is. So
We'll get there.
well, my only problem is where am I going to put this other signal link? Stan, that ought to catch Stan's attention.
It's only as big as a pack of cigarettes.
I don't have a lot of room on my station. Every little cavity is taken up by something.
do you have, Dave, not to be funny, but do you have, you know where Hobby Lobby is? Go buy some Velcro and stick it on the wall.
No, you're right. I mean, there's always room for Jello, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'll make room. I can make room.
If you
Just
want
shuffle.
another radio, just go get a Yaesu 991A. It's got sound card built in. Won't it do it all like a 7100?
There you go.
Or go get a 7100 and you got D-Star.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure. I'll just buy another couple radios. Sure. Why not?
So
Fix your ride up.
reeling this crowd in.
Well, you got your backup radio and you don't have to buy a signal link.
Oh, shut up, Stan.
So next time we do this, if we get this group together again, we're going to talk about VHF.
Yeah, let's do VHF.
Okay, good enough.
VHF Vera.
Give me a
VHF.
week.
Yeah, VHF Vera.
Give me a
Okay.
week till I get some of my stuff and set it up.
So, well, good segue on where I was going to go next. And here's a curveball for Lee and Ryan and others. When do we want to do this again? We had talked about doing something monthly. We're just kind of having a chat session here about the specific topic. Do we want to do it more
Well,
often than that?
October 19th was the next date Dave put out there. Dave put
Well,
October 19th.
I'm asking if we want to kind of get this group together more
More
often.
often,
Could we talk about Vera VHF in a couple of weeks, Lee?
Yeah,
Ron?
fine, sure.
Yeah, sure.
That works for me.
Interest in doing that?
Yeah.
Tuesday's a good night.
Yeah. Tuesdays. I'll second Tuesdays.
Yeah,
So-
Tuesdays are good with me also.
Well, we got a club meeting next week.
Oh,
Yes, we
that's
do.
right.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
And Dave Walk is always available to order pizza and have it sent to everyone's house.
I think he charges
one
a signal. I think he charges a quarter a slice, right?
Yeah.
you wouldn't like my pizzas. No, I put a lot of interesting things on it. You know, I'm from
Okay.
California, remember?
That's right. But
we-
you've heard of California pizza before, haven't you?
All right, let's don't go there.
So we can't do next week because of club meeting, or 2 weeks out because of the club meeting. Do
I
we
don't
want
think
to?
Jack in the Box made pizzas, is there?
I'll be quietly.
Do we want to? We had said we would do something else the 19th. Do we? We're going to keep running into club meetings if we do it this
Well,
way.
you want to, well, the next meeting after the club meeting is the 12th.
Yeah,
Wanna
but
get
we'd
this group
already-
together?
We'd already cleared.
Well,
the
sounds
19th.
good.
Indigenous Day.
Dave, what were you saying?
We had already cleared the 19th, but we could only move that up really a week to the 12th. So if you want to leave it the 19th or
You
you want
guys,
to move it to the 12th.
group, you decide. If we want to go ahead with the 19th and give us a little time to get something else prepared. And then I'd like to see if you guys want to keep having this conversation, maybe we go forward and do this every couple of weeks.
Yeah, works for me.
FL Digi, I'd like to see that in depth.
Okay. We'll add that to the list.
FL Digi. Oh,
Um,
yeah, I'm with you, Stan.
Everybody who's here tonight you got to pay for this session. Okay. There's a fee, and we didn't tell you to the end.
Hey, who put you in the
took
command
over.
module?
I took over. The fee is you have to send a check-in, either Thursday night on our net or your local net or to the Georgia Aries net on Sunday. Send a Winlink check-in. We use the ICS 213 form. The Georgia Aries Winlink group uses the other form that we saw, the express form. So everybody try to send one, HF or Telnet, this Sunday or Thursday if you want to do our net. See, it's cheap.
Right.
Now I'm gonna say something my wife's gonna hate, okay? If you don't know how to select your form and set it up, so it just pops up on your screen for you real quick and easy to do. Got a pencil and paper.
That hotkey that he talked about?
Well, you can go into your forms and you can go in, when you go under messages, you can go select favorites. Then when you select your favorites, that brings up another window and you can click on the first line, click on browse, and that will actually let you put in there the path statement automatically for you for the form you want. So you'll go select your form from the drop down, which is going to be ICS 213 form. You'll click on that, and then that will automatically fill in your path statement to bring that up. And when you save that, when you bring up your Winlink session, on the very top of the screen, you'll see ICS 213. And you click on that and you're ready to roll.
I was wondering because
Ron,
mine doesn't work, but that's a good procedure. I'll check that out.
Watch the third video from tonight. It's in the third video. It's in that center section, I think toward the end of it before when I pushed it out a little bit, I pushed it just past that.
Okay.
The third video shows you how to add a shortcut to a form.
But if you don't know how, my email address is wb3ilx@gmail.com. Give me your phone number. I'll give you, when you've got a chance to play with that, it'll probably take about 10, 15 minutes to talk you through it over the phone, and we'll get it done. I don't take any calls after 9:30 PM
Now, why would B not want that?
and nothing before perfect 9 o'clock in the morning.
There's B charges for that too.
Yeah.
B
gets
charges for
really
line
upset
stuff.
because I spend so much time
But
talking to
so-
people through this stuff.
So a lot of it is in the videos. Ask any of us questions. My email address is W4DTO Whiskey 4 Delta Tango Oscar at ARRL.net. If you didn't get the links and want the links from tonight, shoot me an email.
When I get your email, I'll send you back my phone number. And that way you'll know who's calling you, or you can call me whenever you're ready, if you need help. But you guys are all smart. You won't need any help. I know that.
Let's end on that note. Dave, stop the recording. Ron said we're all smart. I think you go ahead and stop the recording. Was this okay? I mean, it was a little bit, it's very informal and we just jumped in here and talked about a lot. Did anybody learn anything?
Oh, yeah, I learned a lot.
Okay.
I think
And
that
I
was
like-
well done, Dan.
You know, pretty much everybody knows everybody. So the informality is comfortable, in my
Well,
opinion.
Maybe next time we let some of those folks, some of the new folks introduce themselves. We got some folks here joining us from outside of Paulding County. So
Yeah.
Greg, Paul, thank you for joining us.
Yeah,
Guys,
Larry,
I'm sorry, I have to go. Anyway,
All right.
see you next
see you
time.
later.
Thanks for doing this. I appreciate y'all
I've got
letting
to
me be a
leave
part of it.
also here, so I appreciate it.
And I've got a question for anybody hanging out for a minute.
Okay.
I'm looking, I haven't seen the video yet, because that would be too easy, but I created I pulled up an email and I'm looking for the ICS form. I clicked on template manager and under user information, I see ICS forms modification. Is that it?
No, that's
You don't
wrong.
go there.
Ed, let me give you a call and I'll talk you through it.
Okay. Thank you, Ron.
Okay.
Was that it, folks?
Okay, so 19th then?
I think that's it.
All right.
Unless
well,
somebody
I'll
else
go-
says else.
I'll pull the plug on the recording here and thank everyone for taking your valuable time.
Yep.
And we'll do it again soon.
Is there a video we're going to need to watch ahead of time for that VHF hour?